Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to our second Math Tech Minute. I'm super excited. So for those of you that haven't done this before, this is broadcasting live right now, and it will also be saved on the Google Plus event page that houses the Hangouts on Air, or it will also be stored on my YouTube channel, my Campbell USD YouTube channel. So you can find these archived there if you want to watch them later. I am Amanda Haas. I'm the Elementary Math and Tech Integration Coach. And my lovely co-host today is Kathy Schlief, and I'll let her introduce herself.
Hello, I'm Kathy Schlief. I teach third grade over at Forest Hill.
Great. And we're going to look at a couple of digital tools for formative assessment. And when I say formative assessment, I'm really including everything from doing practice problems to taking a quiz to any homework, any independent work. So these tools are going to be good for all those things. On the whiteboard here, I have the list of tools that we're going to go over. And Kathy's going to jump in and talk a little bit about what she's used some of these for. So I'm going to start with GoFormative. And I'm going to screen share real quick and show you GoFormative. So here is GoFormative. It's just goformative.com. When you can log in with your Google account, which is really great. So there's no extra login. The kids can log in with their Google account. It's also web-based, so this will work on any device. In fact, we tested this out in Kathy's room the other day on the Chromebooks, and it worked great. The kids got in, no problem. GoFormative is awesome because you can create little assessments using a variety of different question types. This was just a little practice one we did. So the first one I put in was a drawing slide, so the kids actually get to do some drawing. Which will be great for those of you that have any touchscreen devices. But the students in Kathy's class had trackpads and they did okay, so they did fine. You can embed a video for the kids to watch. You can embed an image. So on this one, I embedded an image and then the very next question related to that image. So you can put a little question in after your videos or images. You have multiple choice options, true, false. You can annotate PDFs also. So this one doesn't have an example of that, but if I were to use this purple button that says upload and transform, I can drag and drop, or I can click to search for a PDF. So I've seen some teachers in some other classes. I went to a 6th grade class the other day where a teacher had uploaded an SBAC practice question. She had a PDF document and she just uploaded that PDF right into GoFormative and had them do their work by annotating that PDF. So the nice thing about this is if you are using any multiple choice questions or true false questions, it's going to grade your assessment for you automatically, which is awesome. And then you will have, let's see if I can click back to the profile. If I go into here, I had 41 responses. You can look at your results from all the student work all in one place. So that's kind of nice. So you'll see here some of the work that the kids did. And this is sorted by question. So here's question number 1, and you can see all the work the kids did. You can look at question number 2. And you have the option of, you can either grade these later, like these have not been graded yet, or you can even grade them while the students are using GoFormative, which is kind of nice. So they'll see the scores come in right away. But if I want to grade this, I can just click on here. And I can click here, and I had originally set this question to a 5-point question, so they can get, a total of 5 all the way down to none or anywhere in between. And I can leave them a comment here, and these comments will be private just to that student. So that is just kind of a quick overview of GoFormative. Kathy, did you want to talk about anything that we did with this the other day, or you had some really good thoughts about how to use this, which I thought were really cool?
Yeah, sure. Well, my kids absolutely loved doing it with Amanda. And as Amanda was showing my kids, I immediately got on and started creating my own little GoFormative quiz to see how quickly I could make it and that they could respond to. So it's super, super easy. And the kids, not all questions you would put up for the kids to see, but like when they had their self-portraits up there, the kids had fun seeing what other people were doing for their self-portraits. I displayed one of my questions up to the class, and we could see that out of my 23 kids, there were 21 of them that had the same answer. So the 2 that didn't have the same answer, we could talk about why their answer wasn't the same and how we could get to the correct answer. The other thing is I played with it to see about embedding it into a Google form for homework, and super easy to, or not a Google form for homework, but embedded into my classroom for homework, because I use Google Forms every week in homework, and so this is just as easy to make as an assignment in classroom. So super fun. With it being so crazy with testing, I haven't gotten super deep into doing anything quite yet with GoFormative, but it's on the radar.
Awesome, thank you. I'm going to click back over that, and I'm not sure, I'm noticing. Bear with me, everyone. This is only my second Google Hangout on air, and I'm afraid that I might not have screen shared that correctly, but I'm going to hit present to everyone, so hopefully everyone can see. But going back, I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot about the Google Classroom integration, which is fantastic and just kind of makes everyone's lives a little bit easier also. So if you're here and you want to assign a formative that you've made, when you click on assign, one of the choices that's going to come up over here is Google Classroom. So you can either just click here, and when you click the Google Classroom button, it's going to bring up a box for you to assign it directly into Classroom. Or we had played with just grabbing the link and then copying and pasting the link in Google Classroom. So that was another way to do it too. Or if you're not using Google Classroom, the kids can just go to this URL here on the bottom of my screen on the bottom right, and then they use this quick code here to get to your assessment. You're going to want to, if you decide to try this out, you are going to want to create a class first, I learned, because if you don't create a class, the public can use your assessment, but it won't collect the data. And so I think that's the best part, is collecting the data, because I don't want to have to grade any more papers than I have to. So if you create your class and then assign your formative to your class, then the data will collect on that formative. So that is GoFormative.
Yeah, and just one more thing about creating your class. It is super easy for the kids to join. You just create your class, and then they get the code, and there's a step-by-step direction for them. And it probably took my class 2 minutes for everybody to get in total.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, we're going to look at Google Forms. So using Google Forms, let me come over here to, oops, I'm sorry, I'm going to screen share again. Google Forms is another great way to build an assignment. So it is, I think a lot of people see it first as a survey tool, which it is, but there's also some really cool uses for Google Forms in terms of creating assignments. Let's see, present to everyone. Okay, so I created a quick presentation, and I'm going to share this link out to everybody in just a minute so that you can have the presentation. But Google Forms is great for creating quick little exit tickets. It's great for note-taking. I had been talking to a group of teachers quite a while ago that were looking for some tools for ELD, and they took a form, and they put an image in the top of the form and then put a little question at the bottom, and that was like their exit ticket for ELD. It was great. This is the old version, but you can create, here was one that I did for a PD, I think. You can put a little video in and have the kids watch the video and kind of flip instruction. So the kids could watch the lesson video at their own pace, and then you can build in questions underneath that. This is editing view. If I go to live form, this is what your students would actually see, the live form. So they can play the video from right within. You can give them little paragraph questions to type in a response, or multiple choice, or they can do a checklist and check multiple things off, so that you have a lot of options with Google Forms. And then what happens with a form is, once you create your Google form, it automatically creates a spreadsheet where all of your responses are going to populate. So all of my responses populate in this spreadsheet. And now I have all of my data from that quick exit ticket or quick assignment right there in a spreadsheet. So that kind of is a nice way to organize all the information that's coming in from the students' work. And then Kathy's been doing a lot with forms this year. So did you want to talk about what your team's been using them for?
Yeah, just to go back to the spreadsheet, the one thing you need to do when you look at the spreadsheet is you got to go into format and get it to text wrap. Otherwise, you'll have pages and pages and pages of answers. And also, it defaults to font size 10, which is not really font size 10. It's like font size 2. So I found that you need to change the font size to about 18 to make it look like something normal that you could actually read. I don't know what they're doing with their font size, but kind of crazy. So anyway, so most of the third grade team at Forest Hill is using Google Forms every week. We started out the year using it as basically like a reading log. The kids needing to tell us what they were reading, what AR book level that it was. We got so that they had to start putting what their level was and what the book was, because kids were not reading in the correct levels. And then just the questions just vary every week. Some short answers, some longer answers, some multiple choice. Just lots of variety. So I'm going to show you first one that we did about mid-year. I think it's this one. Yeah, here's January. So book title and author. Can you see that, Amanda? Does it show?
It's there.
Okay. So listing the specific chapters, and we found that we had to start being really specific about it. But then just seeing the questions down here at the bottom, we change the questions all the time. So it's not the same. They have to be a little more thoughtful. And you can see, I hope you can see where it says long answer text. So that ends up being a paragraph box. So they can just keep typing as much as they need to. And then the one thing we found is that if we didn't wait to assign, our homework is due Fridays. So if we attached it to our classroom early in the week, we had kids doing it early and not necessarily reading every night. So now we don't attach it to Google Classroom until Thursday. But we did start with SBAC coming up. We started switching up a little bit and just doing some skill checking. And so this was, we just did a short one last week, asking them what is a prefix, what is a suffix, what's a root word, and then 5 words that have prefixes, 5 that has suffixes, and then using them in their sentences. So just gave us a little check on, are they remembering? Because this is something we covered earlier in the year. So we did a little mini lesson with it back in class, and then they worked on it for homework last week, and they all actually did a really great job. We did do one, we've only done one where we've, I'm going to stop sharing there now, where we've embedded a video. And so we're, playing with it this year and trying to do more, but we did one on Dr. Seuss and his life. And so they had to watch the video and then answer questions about Dr. Seuss's life right at Read Across America Week. So we've had really good luck with it. The only problem that we have is remembering to get it done, and then we early enough for the kids who don't have computer access at home, but you can print it out and then they can do it at home on paper. So at the beginning of the year, we just find out which kids don't, and then it is their responsibility to make sure that they get the paper form from us so they can do it at home. But otherwise, it's been great. I've loved it and want to try and do more, just less paper, more homework.
That is I'm echoing to myself, so that's going to bother me, but I'm going to try to ignore it. By the way, for those of you, I see that we have 5 viewers, which is really exciting, by the way, because we have 5 viewers, and my last session only had like 1, so this is really exciting. But I was going to point out to the people viewing live, you should have the option to ask questions. There should be a Q&A button on your screen. I honestly am not totally sure where that is on the viewer screen. On mine, there's a menu that pops up on the left side of my Hangout screen. So, and it says Q&A. If you hit the Q&A button, you can ask a question live, so we can answer any questions that you might have. So moving forward, I have 2 more tools that we were going to look at today. Oh, I'm sorry, backing up, Google Forms. So in terms of math, there is an add-on for Google Forms that's going to be really helpful if you want to use that for math. I'm going to try and screen share real quick. It's called GMath. I'm also adding links, FYI, for people that are live. There is a yellow tag kind of looking icon, the showcase icon, where I'm adding links to the tools and some other things. So you have links to all these things that we're mentioning. That being said, I'm going to show you real quick an add-on called GMath. If you decide to use Google Forms for any math work, I would highly recommend getting the GMath add-on. You can get add-ons from within Forms. So if you're in Forms and you're making your form, there's actually a button at the top of the screen that will say add-ons, and you go there to get your add-ons. And GMath will allow the teacher to create questions using math symbols and the students to answer using math symbols, because you, without the add-on, have quite a limited selection of math symbols. So, and in fact, in this example, they have like an entire graph that they've created and put in there. So GMath is great if you decide to use that with your math classes. Okay, let's see if I can get out of here. All right, so now Zaption. Zaption is one of my favorite tools. It is web-based as well, so this will work on any device, and it lets you make interactive videos. And I have that up now, so let's see if I can show you that. So here's Zaption. It's just zaption.com. You can, I believe this is a Google login as well for teachers, so that is nice, teachers and students. And what you can do is either pull from lessons that are already made or make your own. And what happens is you can select a video, and they have a ton of videos already available in their gallery from PBS and from National Geographic and YouTube and Vimeo and all those places. So you can kind of just search for whatever topic you're looking for, and then you can embed questions and activities. So this is kind of a great tool for flipping a lesson, or maybe you want to work with a small group and you want the other students to work on a digital lesson so you have time with your group. This is great for that. And building in questions are as easy as just, I'm going to see if I can turn this down just in case. I'm in editing view. I can start playing the lesson and then pause it where I want to put a question, and I can drag and drop these question types down here. So maybe I want a checkbox question, and I can type my question here. And then I can put my responses here. And checkboxes are going to allow them to check off. This one is the correct one. And this will let me pick more than one right answer. And so the students will, as they're watching, actually have the video pause on them and a question pop up. So they'll have these questions embedded right in their video. You can fix the settings too, so that students can't fast forward through an entire video. One of the settings you can set up is for the video to pause, and they have to answer the question before they move on. Or you can fix that setting if you do want them to be able to fast forward through. That's an option as well. But I love this tool for kind of adding a little accountability too to the videos that I'm already giving out to the students to watch. This collects data from all of the questions that they work on, just like the other tools. So you can go into your account and check out the data that you've collected. You can also, and this is something kind of new. Let me see if I can go back to my lessons. So these I can just share out to the students individually. These are drafts, but here's a published one. So on my published one, I can look at the analytics, or I can play it, or if I want to share this out to the students, I can share it via Google Classroom, or I can just grab the link and paste a link into whatever LMS, or just write it on the board and have them go to the link. Or you can now do present live. So you could actually use this whole class too if you wanted to. And when you start the presentation, you can project this up on your screen. And the view changes a little bit because it's a whole class presentation. But students use this little join code down here at the bottom, and they can be participating on their own device, but all the data is kind of popping up on the big screen. And then you have a choice as to what data you want the whole class to see, what you don't want them to see. So that's a new feature that's kind of neat too. So that's kind of the basic overview of Zaption. I am going to click back. I just have one more tool to go over. But I did want to stop and check and see if there are any questions, and there are not. Okay, so we have just one more tool, and then our mini webinar will be over. This is quizzes. So if you're already using, oh gosh, now I'm drawing a blank too on what the other tool is. Never mind. All right, we'll just jump right to quizzes. So quizzes is just quizizz.com. And quizzes allows you to do a couple of things. So one is you can create these quick games that you can play whole class, but you can also assign them. They call it assigning as homework. But it's just a nice way to assign the quizzes as independent work. So you don't have to be, the teacher doesn't have to be logged in live to give a quiz. There is a public gallery with a ton of great quizzes already made. For the elementary teachers out there, there are a number of people that have been making Eureka and Engage New York based quizzes. So that's kind of nice. You don't necessarily have to create anything. I like creating my own quizzes. So if I go into these are the ones I've already made. If you want to create, you can click on Create. And you have a whole bunch of different types of questions that you can do. It's going to make me name it. And you can make it public. So it would go out into the public search engine so other people could use your quiz. Or you can make it private if you want to. And they've got nice tutorials built in. But same thing, you can add different types of, this one's just going to be multiple choice questions. And let's see if I can go back and show you one I've already done. So here is a Kinder Math quiz. When I'm ready, I can play live, or here's the homework feature that I was talking about. And then you also have some different share options here. So if you want to grab the link to your quiz, it's right there. But if I hit edit, I can show you what the questions look like. So they are going to be multiple choice questions, but you can add like a little preview picture over here. So I just drew this picture in Google Drawings and then downloaded it as a JPEG, but you can, of course, use pictures that are already out there on the web. What the students see on their device is they'll actually see the question on their device as well as the answer options. So there is, of course, I'm drawing a blank on what that other, Kathy, if you know what I'm talking about, can jump in, but there's another quiz tool very similar. And on that, the kids on their device, they only see these colors. So they kind of have to look back and forth between the screen up on the board for the answer choices and then down at their little device for the color that matches. Whereas with quizzes, the answer choices are actually going to be right there on their screen along with the question. So they don't have to look up and back, up and back. It's all right there in front of them. And so that's what I really like about quizzes. And then just like the others, you can get some nice analytics. You can pull reports on how the students did on the quiz. And so that's another great tool for creating a digital formative assessment. Hi, May. Just curious. Da, 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 da. Okay, so thank you, Andrea. Kahoot. Okay, so quizzes is similar to Kahoot, but I like that the kids will have all of that right on the device in front of them now. So instead of having to look up and back, they will see the answer choices right in front of them and the question right in front of them. You can turn on quizzes some fun memes to pop up if they get it right or wrong, or you can turn that off. You can also have music playing or not. You have a lot of options for those things. Okay, so May had a question. Oh, the free version of Zaption. So that's all I ever use. So everything that you saw on my screen, so if I go back and let's see if I can share my screen real quick again. Everything that I've used has only been in the free version. So that's a great question. You have a lot of choices now. Let's see, edit. Yeah, so all of these are available in the free version right now. And I actually feel like that's more tools. When I first started using it, maybe a year or a year and a half ago, you didn't have all these options on the free version. I feel like they almost opened more things up, but you can do all of these tools, the drawing, the checkboxes, multiple choice, all that good stuff, discussion question. I think now they've updated it so that you're limited in the analytics that you can pull. So that is a good question. But as far as creating these, you have a lot of choices. So I think that is it. If we don't have any other questions, we're going to end it there. So hopefully you guys all saw at least one new thing that you like and might be able to use. And just a reminder that if you want to try something new, I am happy to come out and help you with that. If you want help building it, I can come sit with you and build it with you. I can just be an extra body in the room with the kids. If you want to try something and just feel like you might need extra tech help in the room, just let me know. But otherwise, we're all set. So thanks, Kathy, for helping out and chiming in. And we will see you guys next time. Have a good afternoon, everyone.